Now here I decided to step back and let Crestman handle this, in which case Crestman will die. He will take care of the enemy soldier Grim, which is now have gone insane. But I think the best question here is to cast the command spell Halt, which will decrease favor. I'm getting really low on favor. I feel like I should hold on to some favor, but fuck it, let's just use favor. I think this situation I need to I think the best choice as far as I can see, we can always go back. The best choice I can see is Halt, so let's go with that. Favor decreases 2, morale decreases 1. Halt, you command as you release the spell. The guard stumbles and then stops for a moment. Crestman steps forward, throws his spear at the Thog monster. It's a good throw and the spear sinks into the bulbous body of the monster. No, shouts the guard, you cannot attack the darkness. He charges at Crestman with his short sword, swinging wildly. Crestman draws his short sword, parries. Avis rushes in from the sides and slams the crazed guard in the back with her mace, knocking him to his knees. Crestman cleaves his long sword into the back of the crazed guard's neck, partially decapitating him. Distracted as Crestman is, he doesn't see the tentacle lash out towards him. Okay, so you're still going to die apparently. Watch out, you shout. But Crestman has already been seized by one tentacle around the legs, lifting him off his feet. Another tentacle from the monster wraps on Crestman's head and twisting the sickening crack as the soldier's body convulses. The monster lets Crestman go, and the corpse falls to the ground. His armor clanking against the stone. So that was a waste of favor, I feel like. I'm gonna check if I need favor after this, so that might not be a problem. I have to go back. Maybe I have to go back on this choice. Okay, it's still good. I think I can still do this with the favor I have at the moment. I need morale, so I think this is the best option I can go for now. In this one, I decided to listen for the monster, but everyone was screaming, so I couldn't hear jack shit. So we're going to look for visual clues for this one. Morale increases 1. If there's one thing you've learned about this monster, it's that he doesn't mind leaving a trail. You approach the area as you last saw the monster. Sure enough, there's a trail on the trail of the carnage that goes off around the corner, maybe 15 meters ahead. It escaped that way, you said, pointing. It left a fresh trail. There's no way out of the dungeon, just more of the dungeon, says Legard. Let me out. That thing is going to have to come back this way. Don't let me die helpless and pathetic like the others. Sure enough, you now hear screaming from deeper in the dungeon. The abomination seeks easier prey among the prisoners, says Avis. We must kill it now before it gets too strong. Let me help you, shouts Legard. Yeah, you already said all that bullshit. So we already read all this. Let me out, I'm this and that, and I was drinking and whatever. So this one I went with try and lock the monster in the dungeon and get help, which I still think is the best option. But Avis is not up for that, so we'll let Legard out. Pick up the short sword and the ring of keys near the dead guard and throw the short sword to Legard. Reaches through the bars, catches the weapon by the hilt. You're down a man. Maybe with Sir Legard's help, we can slay the monster, you say as you hurry to the cell. You find the right key. Avis moves in close to you, biting her lip, her mace at the ready. Dare not betray us, Sir Legard, she says in an even voice. Today you live up to the code you swore. You twist a key that fits the lock and twist. You open the cell door. Legard smiles as he hefts the short sword. You will not regret this. Your attention is caught by the sound of slithering. You look over and see the monster at the end of the hall, moving towards you, and then, like before, everything goes dark. Not this again, you shout, or at least you meant to. However, you do not hear your words. Indeed, you don't hear anything. Blind and deaf. Agra, counter this. I'm working on it. The spell is powerful, says Agra. Something in front slams into you. Glancing blow, then it's gone. Was Sir Legard pushing past you? I guess he's going towards the monster. I thought he was running away, but I guess not. Thanks to you holding the door, you have some sense of where you are. At least if your option comes to you, by touch, you could try to fire your bow in what you think is the right direction. The hall is fairly narrow, and it might allow you to hit it. Another option would be to grab for Avis and pull her with you into the cell. Maybe that would buy you time. Finally, you could run towards where you think the exit is. Perhaps if you could get out of the area of the spell, you would regain your senses. So technically, if I want points, I should do shoot down the hall, because that will take away my life, but it will give me morale, which is much more expensive than life. But I will just do this option that I like doing, which would be pull Avis into the cell with you, which is the best option in my eyes, at least. Not from point standpoint, but still. Reach out where you think Alice was and feel fabric. You grab and pull as you quickly feel your way into the cell, and in the process banging your shoulder on what is probably the door frame of the cell. Luckily, Avis seems to follow your lead. rather than mistakenly smashing you with her mace. You manage to keep your fingertips off your other hand and on the edge of the door. Lunge in, grab cold metal bars, and pull. You can feel the door swing, followed by the violent vibration as it slams shut. You hope it locked. Okay, okay. Without the ability to even hear a click, you cannot know for sure. And now you feel a firm grip around your arm. You put your hand over it. It's smooth skin. It must be Ave. She's pulling you. Yeah, we already read all this. You follow her lead and assuming... Oh, it's kind of different, I guess. You follow her lead and assuming you haven't been turned around. You believe you're now stumbling towards the back of the cell. As confirmation, your outstretched hand soon hits the cold stone wall. Egra, can you see... Yeah, we already read all this. This was the correct option. We did this last time as well. Cast a slippery spell on your leg. Yeah, we already read all this. Okay, so this is bullshit. I will have to call bullshit on this. So it says I need 8 favor to try and animate the statue, but if I animate the statue of Hayden, which I'm aiming for, it only takes 4 favor. So it's kind of bullshit that I have to actually have enough favor, despite the fact that I don't need enough favor. So I'm gonna have to boost survival stats or go back multiple choices and do the shit entirely again. And just this time I will not use the command spell, but fuck that, I'll just increase my favor right through here. 8 favor, right there we go. You if you want a favor there, 8 favor normally without having to boost your stats. When I use the command spell to stop Grim and then Ligard went to attack him, you should just back out and Ligard will die anyway, so you save 2 favor in that opportunity. I told you guys that was a waste of a favor. I was thinking of going back on it, and I was like, maybe I will have enough because I calculated it, but apparently the game does not give a shit. So let's try and animate the statue. You already read all this. Last time we went with Oher, but that decreases morale. We went with Virtuous, but that did the trick, but didn't do too well. We're gonna go with the statue of Hayden this time. This is the only one we have not read, and as far as I can see, it's the best choice. Hayden, the god of wealth, you say. He is the largest and is appropriate since his priest is currently being consumed. Brilliant champion, says Egra. A true trickster misdirects. All will assume that Hayden has taken his revenge for his defiled priest. There is a low quake in the floor as the statue of Hayden begins to move. His wide smile frozen, the statue pulls away from its position, serving as a weight-bearing column. Yeah, last time I think that his pillar was so huge, I thought that the wall might collapse, but we'll see. Serving as the weight-bearing column and steps forward. With the ceiling no longer supported by the column, several large stone blocks come loose and fall. One smashes the tentacle of the monster, spattering gore. The huge statue, probably 20 meters high, simply falls forward, stretching his arms to the side. Nisian priest and the guards holding him look up just before the knees crush them both. The monster abandons meals and dodges to the side. However, he does not clear the gargantuan statue completely. Rather gets partially crushed by the stone's armpit. Boom! And the floor. That's actually more funny than Virtuous. That I like that one. Boom! The floor shakes hard as the statue smashes, sending stone blocks everywhere. You destroyed it. We already read everything after this, so let's move on. This was the correct option. Crouch down and wait with your sword out in front of you. This was the incorrect option. I used the slippery spell, which did not, give me the good stuff. But this time I'm going to wait, which will increase my morale. Unless Egra can make the wall slippery all the way to the bottom, you doubt it would work. With all those long tentacles, the monster will likely latch onto something all the way down. You circle nearby, but out of the range of the tentacles. Soon the monster clambers over the eave of the roof, commences climbing straight up towards the apex. I wonder where he's going, says Egra. He certainly seems to have a plan. This might be a good place for it to slip, you say. How about you coat the roof all the way down? Egra likes this, but you feel that it will take a little extra favor to coat the roof in a wide strip from top to bottom and create the slide. What do? Oh wow, this is way better. Holy shit. I think... Wow, I am amazed actually. Last time I kept following him, then 2 couples were fucking, and if you attack him in between, the monster gets alerted of a position because the dude turns around at the last moment. We will lose us a shit ton of life. It'll give us 4 morale. If we wait for a better option like we did, we will gain only like 3 morale and lose 5 life. But this situation is probably the best one as far as I can see. Honestly, I mean, it takes 3 favor and decreases 3 life. Slick the roof, the option. but apparently it gives us 5 morale, so I'm thinking this is the best option. Let me just recheck. I think since I've not done this option, I kind of want to see what this option does. Because if we don't enter that room, where are we going to be ending up at the end of this? Are we just going to be lying in the moat or something? I'm kind of interested in this option, and it seems like a good option as well, compared to the other ones, because 1 morale is like 30. The multiplier is 30 on that, so even 1 morale is good enough. So I think I'm gonna go with Slick the Roof and see what that does. Fever decreases 3, morale increases 5. You feel the power release, and a moment later, the monster begins to slide, slow at first, then quickly speeds up. Comically, the beast flails its tentacles, unable to gain purchase. You wish it had a face or at least some eyes. You can see its expression as it launches off the eave of the roof, out, and into empty air. Perhaps if it had thought to do it and had the reflexes, there was a moment where he could have reached under the eave and gotten hold of something, but he missed that opportunity. It is nice to know that even the spawn of God can be stupid. The blob of teeth and tentacles plummet down, and you flap furiously after him. Beyond the moat and the narrow cobblestone road that surrounds it, there's a large house with beautiful red clay shinglings. Is Niranova gonna help? The monster crashes into the roof of this house, caving in a large hole as the impact explodes clay fragments. You're not far behind. You fly into the hole. The monster is hiding on what might have been a dining room atop a crushed table, quivering, covered in its own slime and gore mixed with dust bricks and wooden splinters. Egra, transform me back, you say as you land clumsily on the floor nearby. Out of the house shouts a man's voice along with screams. There's a moment of darkness, then you're ready, standing with your sword at the ready. Weapon vibrates with urgency, and you waste no time hacking the trembling monster, slicing deep into its loathsome flesh. It lashes its tentacles, but the attack is weak. You are ready for it. You slice one tentacle, then another, after which you get back to hacking the mass of pulsing gore. Dark thoughts push against you. The swan is using his dark magic, but against your mind again. But you can feel Egra pushing back. There is a great hissing sound. Perhaps monster's last death rattle. We already read all this. Let's see if there's anything new. This is the things going up. Already read all this. After a few moments, there's a deep tremble. You look, half expecting to see a line of knights charging on horseback, but you're in the second story of a house. Yeah, so it slightly changed the situation. Yeah, we all read all this. Okay, it's the same thing. It just leads me to that fantasy world where Egra took me, and after that we just end up in the linen bed again, so it doesn't really matter. So we got 970. Holy shit, I think we can get a few more points, maybe 1,000 or so, by doing a different choice. But I feel like I just in general like this one. I think this is good enough for me. As long as I get the highest ranking, I'm good. So fear continues low. As you can see, morale is the best one. It literally gives you 30 multipliers. So as little life you have and as more favor you have, that's good enough, I would say. The new high score, good enough. Let's move on to the next chapter, which is chapter 12. Share the video, like the video, comment something down below. I will definitely read them and reply to them whenever I read them. There's a link in the description to my Twitter. There's also a link to the game. There's also a link to the background music that I'm using. There's also a link to the walkthrough I'm reading this off of. And bye bye.